Just for the records, just wanted to remind the members that, the committee members that this docket consists of three departments, that is water, environment, and natural resources. Therefore, we must always be able to align our questions to those three critical areas. And I know people are oath.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I, Ahmed Muhammad Ibrahim, swear by the Almighty God that the information I shall give before this committee of the County Assembly shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Please take your seat. Please allow the Sergeant at Arms to pass over your academic credentials file to the members, together with any other testimony in original form. Mr. Ahmed Muhammad Ibrahim, am I right? I would like first to welcome you to the House and congratulate you for your nomination to this docket, water, environment, and natural resources. I would like to take this opportunity to also inform you that the committee in front of you, the members of this committee, called the Committee on Appointment, is established pursuant to Standing Order 185-1 as amended, and draws its mandate from the Standing Order 185-4 of the County Assembly. The mandate of this committee is to vet you for the position to which you have been nominated. The committee has the trust and the mandate to vet you, and the issues under consideration in this vetting session are as follows. To look at the constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the office in question. Thirdly, will be also your suitability for the appointment proposed in regards to your ability, experience, and qualities, if they meet the needs or the qualities for the body which nomination is being made. I therefore take this, at this point, I would like to introduce the members of this committee to you. I am the chair of this committee, and at any given time, please refer to me as chair. I am the Speaker of the Assembly, but in this appointment committee, I am the chair. Therefore, you will refer to me as so. Second is Honorable Hajir Muhammad Dahir, who is a member of the committee. Honorable Abdurrahman Muhammad Ali, member. Honorable Fatuma Muhammad Shide, who a member. Yes, thank you. Honorable Adaw Umar Said, member. Honorable Mustaf Muhammad Mustaf Abdul Rashid Ahmed, member. Honorable Muhammad Abdi Farah, member. Honorable Zamzam Muhammad, member. Honorable Umar Abdi Hassan, member. Honorable Fardows Jelle Ibrahim, member. Honorable Hassan Nur Dahir, member. Honorable Abu Bakr Muhammad Khalif. Hassan Nur Dahir also doubles to be the deputy minority leader. We have Honorable Abu Bakr Khalif. Honorable Abu Bakr Khalif also doubles as the majority leader of the Assembly. We have also Honorable Hussein Muhammad Dakane as member and also the minority leader, Honorable Abdi Hakim Haret, who is also a member. We also have Honorable Timira Bishar, a member. Honorable Fatuma Ali, member. Just for the records, also we have, I skipped Honorable Abdurrahman Muhammad Ali. He is also the deputy majority leader. We also have co-opted member, Honorable Khadija Idris and Honorable Abdurrahman Ahmed Nur. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity once again to please make sure to assure you that we are here as we're just ventilating on the issues that we have mentioned. Please feel free, relax, and it will be a very friendly, interactive session where you'll be free to interact with the members. Certainly, you have been nominated, and we are pretty sure that you meet the standards set. So on this note, allow me to proceed straight to the first question and ask you to introduce yourself and tell the committee your academic qualifications relevant to the position you have been nominated for. So in this introduction bit, the first bit is your academic qualifications and their relevance to the position you have been nominated to. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon. My name is Ahmed Mohamed Ibrahim, 53-year-old Kenyan, born in Garissa County, Liboy sub-county, married with 12 children, an old man. I've schooled in Liboy Primary School. Thereafter, I happened to join one of the prestigious secondary schools in Garissa County, that's Garissa High School. Alhamdulillah, after my graduation as a Form 4, I happened to employed by Teacher Service Commission as a untrained teacher. Thereafter, I joined Shanzu Teachers Training College in Mombasa as a teacher. Thereafter, I traveled for a degree in international development, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, Masters in International Relations, postgraduate diploma in risk, crisis, and disaster management. Those are my qualifications.
Thank you. Fair enough. The second bit of the question is, now explain to us your working experience and the suitability or the relevance of that to the current portfolio.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. As nominee of Water, Environment, and Natural Resources, I have worked with the Kenya Red Cross Society for over 10 years, both as a program manager, food security manager, as well as a regional manager in charge of Northeastern Province. Luckily, during my period with this organization, I have interacted with different sectors. Environment sectors, I've interacted with the water sector, that is Garissa County, Wajir, and Mandera. I implemented different intervention as far as water is concerned. Example is we have drilled boreholes in different parts of the country, of the county, as well as the region. We are also, during my time as a regional manager, we were able to dig or make dams for sustainable development. More so, I was able to help the agricultural sector livelihood by procuring some water pumps and water pumps for irrigation and agricultural issues. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much for that very elaborate explanation of your experience and being able also to link your previous experience with your docket, quite befitting. We'll now move to the third question, which will be asked by Honorable Fatuma.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Mr. Ahmed, for your nomination to this very essential docket. That is 3-in-1, water, environment, and natural resources. If I may ask you, please tell the committee at least 3 main challenges the sector that is the one you are nominated for faces, and how you intend to address given the chance.
Honorable Chair, it's my pleasure once again to be nominated for this position. This position entails sustainable areas for our country, especially water. At the moment, where I have spent last night, I couldn't have a drop of water. That's my house in one of the bullers in this town. That is the point, the entry point of the work that is needed. We have no water that can sustain Garissa town. If I start with Garissa. Garissa town is an urban center that has grown from period to period. At the moment, that availability we have through Gawasco is not sustainable. Gawasco produced nearly 16,000 cubic meter of water. And this town needs nearly 36,000 cubic meters of water. That is when we talk of this town. The same applies to our sub-counties. The problem is the same. We have perennial drought at the moment in different parts of the county. Lagdera sub-county, which is more Wasa. The same applies to Hulugo sub-county, Fafi, and etc., and etc. There's no safe place. Those are the problems that I need to tackle day one when I sit in that office. That is water. Honorable Chair, environment is another important aspect that needs some intervention. For example, degradation of our livelihood, our trees. It's also in a bad situation. It's very unfortunate that for the last 10 years, no one tree has been grown in our sub-counties. Those are areas that need attention very much. Coming to natural resources, there are so many important or good livelihoods that can be achieved within Garissa. We have the gypsum, but if you go to those areas today, Mr. Chair, it's terrible. It's death waiting. People extract, the investors extract those materials without any respect for any environmental impacts. So those are areas, Mr. Chair, I'll be able to coordinate from day one when I am approved by this team. Thank you.
And thank you. Honorable Timira.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ahmed, welcome. Please tell the committee any legislative proposals like bills or policies you will be introducing in the sector and how you intend to work with the Assembly in the process if given the opportunity.
Honorable Chair, let me commend the first Assembly of Garissa County. There are so many policies and regulations that that Assembly did in the first 5 years of devolution. The same applies to the second Assembly, which has done also its part. I believe there are some gaps that needs to be improved, especially areas concerning forest and wildlife. We need to improve the bills that are in draft stage at the executive on forest and wildlife. The same applies to the bill on charcoal, which is at the draft stage at the executive. I will be able to see those draft bills in coordination with the Departmental Committee of Environment and Water. Those are areas that I will tackle. The same applies to the water sector. We need to have policies, clear policies on the Gawasco formation. I will also I'll check on the policies and the draft which is there, and then in conjunction with the Water Act, I'll be able to implement important aspects of those interventions and policies.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Abo, Honorable Mohammed Abdul Farah.
Thank you, Chair. How will you manage environmental degradation and charcoal burning occasioned by the presence of refugees in some parts of the county, especially the Dab and Hagadera refugee camps?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Chair, the Dab host community have suffered a lot for the last 30 years. The environment there is depleted completely as a result of charcoal burning by communities that also live on those for livelihood. It's important that we create policies and legal framework, especially the act that the act I've said on charcoal burning. Those are areas that we need to develop in partnership with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and other organizations that live or support the refugees. We'll be able to bring legislation on how to improve our environment. More so, we'll also advise them on how to use other alternative interventions for their, as a result of the charcoal. They can use other alternative areas for their livelihood. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Abdul Hakim Haret.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ahmed, as you are aware, there is a perennial water shortage in Garissa town and its sub-counties. Tell the committee the plans you have to avert this problem.
Through the chair, Mr. Chairman, during the opening of the assembly by His Excellency the governor has done a good speech on issues of water intervention in Garissa. As I've said earlier, Garissa is growing very fast, and the water intake by Gawaso cannot sustain us. I've given you figures, 16,000, that's the production they do now, against 36,000 of daily mega cube. That's the daily match we need for water in Garissa. At least, I will propose, as the governor said also, we'll have different intakes. We'll have one to the further end of ADC and those areas, we'll have an intake there. The same applies to communities living in Bola Iftin and Dekabure. We'll have another intake there. Those three intakes can sustain Garissa. But with the one we have here now, it's depleted. The piping system is very poor. They don't have enough funding also. Our staff at Gawasco are not trained very well. The amount of money they get also is not enough. We need Marshall Plan, Mr. Chair, for this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, may I have the question from Honorable Omar?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to congratulate Ahmed for being nominee by His Excellency the Governor. So my question, Garissa County is endued with a green energy suggested method to tap and exploit this energy include investment in untapped potential for windy and solar energy on biofuels.
Yes, the The nominee looks not to have grasped the question well. If you don't mind, Honorable, we beg your pardon.
Thank you. Thank you. My question, Mr. Ahmed, Garissa County is endued with a green energy suggested method to tap and exploit this energy, include investment in untapped potential for the windy solar energy and biofuels.
Okay, yes. Just to make it simpler, Garissa is endowed, Garissa is given with, it has a lot of green energy. What suggestions do you have for the exploitation of this green energy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Indeed, Garissa is endowed. And we are lucky to host one of the biggest solar system in East Africa. Here, Garissa County, at Sangur ward. But unfortunately, that project has been overtaken by the national government. Imagine that solar system is producing 56 megawatts of solar back to the national grid every day. And the income there is nearly 2 billion a month. That's the much they earn. Garissa County itself can also do the same and get enough resources for the county government. We have the plains of Waso up there in what we call Shantaabak. If you travel there, there is plain lands there, Mr. Chairman, that can be used for a medal of solar, wind energy. For example, the same plains, ours is even bigger than the Turkana one. If we get enough investors, I think we have enough to get from the wind energy up there in Shantaabak zone area. The same applies to hydro. We have one of the rivers passing here. With legislation by this assembly, we can create our own, we can create a dam here, a mega dam to supply energy. Because this water, every year and day, it's wasted in the Indian Ocean. We can do some reservoirs. And those are the areas that, Mr. Chairman, needs some.
Thank you so much. I think we have gone through the main questions. I would like to add, before I give the mic to the rest of the members. Yeah, I'm seeing your hands. Just wanted to ask, we seem to have a lot of attention for the urban water supply. What interventions do you have for the biting rural water shortage? And are you aware of any existing interventions? And how do you do to resuscitate the situation of the rural water supply system?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 150 boreholes, existing boreholes in Garissa County. We have nearly 170 dams across Garissa County. Those dams need to be refurbished so that at least we increase the size for at least so that they can hold enough water to sustain us from one period to another. The same applies to the boreholes. Whenever we have a breakdown across all our villages and towns, we don't have a reserve here. We don't have an existing wire house, so that at least when we have a breakdown in this village, we don't have. So it means we go and procure 4, 5 days, 10 days through other companies. At least in the first 3 months of my appointment, we will have a wire house that will be able to help quick intervention, because our people cannot do without water for 2, 3 days. Mr. Chair, I will do those improvements if I'm accepted. Thank you.
Amazing interventions, suggestions. We look forward to the implementation of those when and if you are granted the opportunity. Honorable Abubakar.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I would like to welcome the nominee to feel at home. And my questions, I have a couple of questions, like 4 questions. I'll also seek your guidance to allow me ask them on behalf of the full house. Some were even requested by members, since this department touches every corner of this great county. I have that request, Honorable Chair.
Granted, but summarize.
Okay. And, Honorable Chair, in the Constitution, every Kenyan citizen has the right to get clean water, and the nominee here has talked about solar pumps, energy, and tapping other energies. What are his measures that are put in place for residents of Lagdeira, which are facing perennial water shortage, and most of the times it's hard for them to it's hard for them to get boreholes. What measures are you planning to put in place for such people or for such citizens to get water? And my second questions are, this question is also affecting my people. I'm asking this question on behalf of residents from Galbet. We are mainly being a victim of flash floods, which are man-made, mostly from these power energies, Kengen and KPLC, whereby their main dams, the likes of Masinga dams, which they flush their overflow dams back to the River Tana, and this causes both crop damage, and it also causes temporary refugees, which also seek refuge to other towns. What measures is the nominee or policy is he intending to create to cap such, in the event of such overflood, flash floods, which are of man-made, are caused? And my second last question is, gypsum is being mined here in the Dab sub-county, and it's being processed in Kitui. What are you planning to do? Are you planning a state fund or a county fund factory to do the processing, or the nominee will also plan to bring investors? What are his modalities in tackling of exploiting natural resources from this county, where they are also processed in other counties? That's my question. And lastly, there have been support or staff which were working in Gewasco, the local company which deals with water. They've overstayed there for 10 years. What measures are you putting in place to absorb them or to give them their right of deeds, whereby you are offloading them? What are your plans to the support staffs which overstayed in the Department of Water, and yet there are no proper plans in the last 10 or so years which were put in place to absorb them? Thank you.
Maybe let him speak to the 4 questions at a go, and then I'll give it to Honorable Abdurrahman. Sorry, before that, Honorable Mohammed Aghane. Honorable Abdurrahman.
Through the chair, Honorable Chair, indeed, yes, Lagdera sub-county is suffering a lot in terms of drought at the moment. The areas like Madogashe, Maalimin, across this Madogashe Nuno Road, people are suffering a lot. In fact, the only way to help those communities is through mega dams. The governor has picked on those areas during his speech. He has promised that Maalimin water intake, that's nearly 18 kilometers across, will be piped. Already the boreholes has been drilled. 3 of them have been there for the last 5-6 years, but unfortunately they have not been able to operate. It's my hope that during my first 3 months, 90 days, Mr. Chair, I'll be able to report back that Maalimin has water. Madogashe, the same. The help that they can get is through mega dam, as promised by the county government and the governor. The same applies to other areas that we can drill water. There are so many donors who are ready to help in terms of this. At the moment, they are ready. Coming back to the floods, Mr. Chair, it's there. These are periodic event that happens every time. And there are so many livelihoods that is been affected by this water from Kindaruma. The only thing I will advise the team here and the honorable members is we can create legislative acts by this county government, by these honorables, so that our people can get compensation from Kindaruma or those dams, the people who are managing those dams. They will definitely pay. If the act has been created, our people will get. We will advise also communities. There's what is called early warning systems. We know through our partners and through other areas when this water is released, so that at least we don't have human destruction. Maybe livelihood destruction, but the human destruction is very important, Mr. Chair. So when we get those early warning system, we will warn our people to move out of those areas to the hinterland, so that at least we don't have any deaths. Finally, gypsum. It's very important. It's economical, Mr. Chair. It's important that a legislative areas must be done. At the moment, the destruction and the amount of extraction is high, but the county government is not getting any money. They are not paying monthly or yearly, what do we call yearly permits. The same applies to, if you go, Mr. Chair, across the Tana River, they are being stopped. But I have never seen any collection of fees from our side of Garissa County. There are cartels, and those cartels must be handled immediately, so that at least we can have a better system for our gypsum. More so, the honorable member has said through you, Mr. Chair, we need what we call private investors, private partnership. There are people who have the money, but with clear legislation done by you, it's going to be important that they are ready to invest. They are ready to extract. They are ready to invest in our county, so that at least we don't have to travel all the way to Adi River, all the way to Mwingi. We can have those big factories here. And the important is that when those extraction is done here, the raw material is processed here, the materials become cheaper to our people, especially here in the whole of northern Kenya. The bag that is selling today at 800 shilling will drop drastically because the other cost that is incurred during transportation, during processing. But if the factory is here, Mr. Chair, fair enough. There's good hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mohammed.
Thank you, Chair. The bill he just spoke of through Chair, the bill of public-private partnership is already in place. It's called Garissa County Investment Authority Bill. I've worked on it. I actually worked on this. I have rendered my service to this county quite well. Moving swiftly forward, Mr. Speaker, the University of Brunel, Leicester, East London, I must say quite impressive. But my question is this: at the core of our plan to grow the economy from bottom up to a sustainable, is prudent. We must get sustainable water supply for both domestic and irrigation. Those are the words of His Excellency William Samoei Ruto. Are you willing to work closely with the national government and the plan in place for His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, His Excellency Mudavadi, His Excellency Moses
Honorable Hussein, please be brief to the point.
To ask him if he work closely. Is our plans in tandem with the work of national government? That's all. And Honorable Aiden Duale, I forgot, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, the bottom-up economy is one of the best models. I do support. And I'm happy if those legislations will be done by the county assembly here, and we'll be able to help as far as preparing those bills at the county executive and then bring back to the assembly for approval. But those are our leaders. We'll work with them, Honorable Chair, and it's important to say categorically that we will work with them day and night for sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Abdurrahman.
Thank you, Chair. The nominee, welcome to Garissa County Assembly. Two quick questions. One, in your identification card, I saw you were born and brought up in Sankuri. Just confirm. Because we need to know where you are coming from. Number two is the issue of, are you aware there are new sub-counties that were created, one of them being Sankuri sub-county, and there are no water or environment, all these offices. What will you do if given the opportunity so that you can fast track those process? Number three is about rural water, the way the chair asked. I think most of our engagements or our issues, we just focus on Garissa Water and Sewerage Company, which is town. There is Rural Water Authority, I think, formed by the last government. What will you do if given opportunity in terms of funding to those rural water, if given opportunity?
That's, you done? Oh, you're done.
Yeah, I also had another question because...
We'll come to that. We'll come to that given the time. Maybe the issue of where he was born, the idea, that one, I overrule it. It's not important because as long as you're a Kenyan and you can be born in any part of this country. Okay, next question. Maybe you respond to those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Normally when a person is born in Kenya, it's the birth certificate that identifies the true place of birth. My birth certificate is valid and it's shown Liboy sub-county. However, when I lost my ID, I traveled all the way to Raya, where there was a vetting in that particular period. And that's how this is written at the back. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Proceed to the next question that he asked.
Mr. Chair, the next was about rural water, I believe. Yes, it's important that we create and diversify water in the sub-counties. For example, there are so many boreholes, the way I've mentioned, and those boreholes are being managed by cartels and people who are not absorbed, who are not trained. We will be able to create areas like Halugo sub-county, Balambala sub-county, Dadaab sub-county, their own independent water and sewage companies to develop or to promote water use in these areas. Thank you.
Honorable Ado.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In the name of Allah, the compassionate and the merciful. Welcome, nominee Ahmed Mohammed Ibrahim. Feel free. I think these interactions, these questions will guide you even as a guiding tool in your performance of your job if approved. I just wanted to ask a question, two questions. One is just an advice, another one is a question about Gawasco. That is a rotten body, if I may call it. In terms of revenue collection, they are very poor, underperforming. We were told the household connected to Gawasco system are 17,000 households, but in terms of payment, only 5,000 households abide by the payment. So what do you intend to do if you inherit such kind of a company with such kind of a revenue deficit? Although the law states everybody is entitled to safe water, but there is no water that is free. So that is my question. The other one, I think, as you also double as a CEC for environment, I think there is environmental impact assessment that provide some hazards on these mega dams. What is your take? Kindly guide the governor or the docket that you are in charge to prioritize more of a borehole than a mega dam, so that it does not bring, environmental impact hazards related issues. So kindly prioritize on that. That is my advice. So I just want a question and answer from revenue only.
Mr. Chair, Gawasco have informed the year 2002. Their monthly collection is less than 7 million shillings, against 42 million shillings. If you compare what the honorable member have said, already 17,000 people are registered as a water users. The amount that's supposed to be remitted is not there, it's not reflected as a result of corruption. We have to be sincere. There is a corruption going on at Gawasco. And unfortunately, when I sit in that office, I hope the first complaint will not come from the honorable members here, because heads will roll. And when heads roll, the only people they are going to run to is the assembly here, the elected leaders here. So in order to have a smooth and efficient water system, whereby we will be able to get donors that will be able to help us to create 2 more intakes, we need to have clear policies on Gawasco and its staff. Thank you very much. On environment, impact assessment is an important tool whenever a dam is created. However, Mr. Chair, there are areas that the water level is not reachable. The areas where saline water is high, those are not viable for human consumption as well as animal consumption. So in that respect, we'll do impact assessment, we'll find out how to conserve that water for sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you. Just as a follow-up question from my end, you have severally made reference to cartels ailing the water sector. Maybe will you elaborate a little further and tell us how you elaborately intend to deal with that cartel, or those cartels for that matter?
Mr. Chair, if you go around this town, there are nearly over 100 water boozers. And those water boozers get their water from a source within the county or within the town. So all those water boozers are owned by cartels. And those cartels are the ones that are hindering services to our people. Having gone to office, I will do all the necessary assessment, and I hope within the first 1 year, we'll not have those water boozers running up and down in the city. Thank you.
Okay, Chair. Honorable Omar.
Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I'm from a ward called Damajali, and an entire Dadaab constituency has enough, almost close to 70, 80 boreholes. And here we have no other way of collecting revenues. So I prefer being given approval. We have a source where we have a Dawasco, so that we can be given a chance to the borehole revenue collected being challenges to our revenue are collected to that end. So I request that since once the nominee is approved, he can implement that association regarding the same to Gawasco in that sub-county. So thank you.
I'm not sure. Okay, let me just, for purposes of proximity, there's a member who is just very close to the current. Please go ahead before I give it to my able deputy, Honorable Mustafa. Honorable Timira, please quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ahmed, once again, welcome. I would like to ask, we have many boreholes in this Garissa County along the riverine, and mostly they are using generators. which is using fuel and it's very expensive. What is your take if these things are connected to solar panels?
Okay, yes, please answer.
Honorable Chair, Dawasco and other water sectors or water companies that will be registered in the sub-counties will be registered immediately. Once there's a proper legislations and documentation, I will sign my executive order to implement those organizations or companies. On the issue of the Honorable, through you, Mr. Chairman, yes, off-grid, they are donors. In fact, there are donors who are ready to provide those off-grid services for our boreholes. And it's important that. One other place that has the same problem is Saka Ward. I can't remember that village. It has a breakdown, 24 hours breakdown of the pump. So what they need is solar panels that can sustain them without any interference of the water. Thank you.
Thank you. In the interest of time, I think I'll give the last question to Honorable Mustafa.
Thank you very much, Chair. Congratulations to my brother, the nominee for the Ministry of Water, Mr. Ahmed. The mandate of your ministry is to provide water, clean water, to the people of Garissa County. We've got a company, Gawasco, which you clearly said is on its deathbed. Gawasco's revenue bill is far less than its expenditure bill. That means this is a company that was supposed to go into administration as early as yesterday. Do you intend to reverse the work of the Gawasco back to the parent ministry? That's my first question. Question number 2, the influx of boreholes and water pumps in Garissa County has contributed to the environmental degradation. We have the largest river or the biggest river passing through our town unutilized, because the way this river is utilized upstream is not utilized downstream. So what is the plan for the people who live in the interior of Garissa? My question number 3, if Gawasco has failed to provide service, what is the need of registering companies that are similar to Gawasco? Thank you very much.
Honorable Chair, Gawasco will be given time to
Chair, please. And in the improvement of Gawasco, you don't have any provision in your budget. There is nothing in the budget of Ministry of Water which says that you should assist Gawasco. And that is what I forgot. Sorry.
Honorable Chair, Gawasco has been repeated several times today here. They need help. They need to listen, and we need to listen to them. We need to find out their problem. We need to find out where they need the help, where we can source the money. Unfortunately, we cannot disband them immediately. If they're not able to give us the services that the citizens need, they will go home. But give them time. Let's study what they have. Let's study their problems, and let's see how we can improve. If there is no improvement, unfortunately, it's on its deathbed. However, the way the Honorable Mheshimiwa said, unfortunately, there are no particular support that they are getting at the moment. They need support, either through other donors or through other intervention, or by the county government. Yes, the county government has done a lot during the last 2-3 months. They have sustained us. They have been paid their fees, their money, and their salaries, and also paid the Kenya Power and Lighting Company about 70 million shilling. But we can do without that, and we can go for off-grid, the way the honorable member has said before. Thank you very much. The issue of dams. Dams, I think I've answered that question earlier on impact assessment. Those dams are creating havoc, but those dams also are creating sustainability for our livelihood and also our animals. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I overruled that in the interest of time, we have one more. Maybe you can pass on the suggestion. Now someone asks here, because of the drought, most people are not able to pay for fuel and water attendants' wages. Any plan to subsidize fuel for them to pay the wages? Then the issue of water pumps attendants, borehole need training. Do you intend to train? Definitely, the training is an integral component of any workforce. So maybe just that's a question. Then another one is drought mitigation on people affected by these calamities by providing fuel subsidy. The same question. Maybe what plans do you have to cushion livestock and human boreholes so as to cushion our livestock and human use? So water and fuel subsidy by people who have already hit by drought.
It's important that the county government has already done intervention on those areas. The county government supports now nearly 9 water boozers. There are some also fuel subsidies that has been given out by the county government. And this will continue until during the period the rain starts. Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, those operators must be trained. They also need to register fully with the Ministry of Water through the Water Act. And with that, then they can be either remunerated or given salary, or maybe get salary through the daily collection they do. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed Ibrahim. Yes, I think there was also another suggestion. These are suggestions. There are 2 suggestions that have come through this chair. Says establishment, maybe if you can also consider the idea of forming sub-county water governing bodies, same as Gawasco, to cap over dependence on Gawasco, hence devolving water department fully. Definitely, that is also having your footprints on the ground. You know, let's not concentrate. I think that has got to do with the question on rural also, focusing on the rural communities in terms of water. Then I think at this juncture, it's my duty to bring the session to an end. Thank the nominee for very ably interacting with us. And then I also wish you well. I will give you this opportunity for a remark or a question you might have for us.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon. In fact, I'm lucky. Most of the members are well acquainted with my ministry. Maybe the needs are there. So hopefully I'll be able to work with them very well so that at least we can improve our livelihoods for our people together. Thank you, Mr. Chair. May Allah bless you and your team. And congratulations to all of you for your election as well as nomination to this important house. Be blessed.
Thank you and welcome. Sergeant at Arms, please escort the member. Make sure you have all your documents with you, the originals that you submitted to the members. Ensure that they are back to you, including your ID card, which Abdurrahman was saying as particulars. So, thank you, members. can we submit the documents back?
Ayatollah.